So I made my kids watch Tommy Boy this weekend because part of my responsibility as a mother is making sure that they're properly educated in all the classics. So in somewhere between Fat Guy in a Little Coat and Tommy Boy destroying yet another sales call, I remembered why I love the movie so much. Look, I think Tommy Boy is one of the greatest sales training movies of all time. Hear me out. Look, first half of the movie, Tommy is terrible at selling. And it wasn't because he didn't care. In fact, it was because that he cared way too much. He needed the sale, right? He needed to save the company and prove that he can do what his dad did. So he tried harder, talked more, explained more, and tried to sound smarter. And it was an absolute train wreck. So, and I see this all the time with salespeople. So, oftentimes they're in their head and they start thinking, like, I need this deal. I need to impress them. Like, I need to prove our value. And it causes them to stop listening and start performing. And so, look, the harder you try to look like a great salesperson, oftentimes the less you look like one. And that's where Tommy figured it out. Like he stopped trying to be his dad. He stopped trying to sound like a salesperson and he became himself. You know, that awkward, funny, imperfect human, right? And suddenly people started buying from him. Not because he found a better sales technique, because they finally got to meet the real him. So I train a lot in behavior, attitude, and technique and spend quite a bit of time, teaching people like the how and what to say. But the best technique in the world can't overcome the wrong attitude and mindset. Because look, neediness, it has a smell. And commission breath, it stinks. Like your prospects, I guarantee they are repelled by it. So I work with clients on creating equal business stature. But that isn't simply something you say, it's something you believe in your core, right? You believe that I don't need to convince you as a salesperson. I don't need you to like me. In fact, I don't even need this sale. So it's our job as salespeople to understand whether we can help or not and tell you the truth either way. So before your next sales call, ask yourself, who would I be in this conversation if I didn't need to make a sale? How would I sound if I were independently wealthy and didn't need the money? Then go be that person. Be curious, be confident, be human, be a little more like Tommy. Look, it's simple, but it is not easy. And remember, growth only happens on the other side of your comfort zone. And one more piece of advice, don't set anything on fire.